Hey guys, it's Chet,
Isa,
Mr. Walter.
and we're going to be going over how to do the hip hinge, how to keep a flat back. We're also going to be covering over how to do a squat properly. We're also just covering over some basic points of performance. And lastly, we'll go over how to just kind of flex your core and stabilize and secure your back. So the main reason why we're doing this is actually the reason why. It's the whole point of keeping that flat back and that hip hinge is to make sure that you keep your spine protected. If you don't have that flat back, if you don't have that hip hinge, you can really end up hurting yourself. So it's very important that you do learn how to keep that nice flat back, maybe even a little bit of an inward arc to make sure that you keep your spine safe. So here I have Isa, just going to demonstrate. So if you just want, you grab a PVC pipe. And one thing you can do that really helps maintain that flat back, you can put a pipe or something long, flat, up against your back. You want your hand to be kind of in the small of your back, and then you want your other hand to kind of be around where your neck is. And if she bends forward with using her hips, so bend forward, Isa, you can see there, her back stays flat. If at any point she rounds her back, so you can stand it back up, is if you can this time round your back to kind of show what it would look like if they do kind of round it. You see.
Yep, if she rounds her back, this hand is going to come off her spine. So if she rounds her back, boom, hand came off, she knows she rounded that back as opposed to showing her that flat back there.
So the whole point of the pipe is when you curve, the pipe won't be able to touch your shoulders along with your butt. So that is the main purpose of using the PVC pipe. And again, just make sure you have that hip hinge. You want your knees to be mostly straight, maybe a little bit bent. And when you go down, just really try to, you'll probably feel a good tug on your hamstrings, but that's really what you want to feel. Just, again, keep that back as flat as possible, and that's just to avoid injury. So second thing I want to cover is just general squatting position. So, you see that down. So for the squat position, you want to have your feet roughly about shoulder width apart. And for this, like almost any other squat or exercise you do, you want to have that flat back. So what you want to do, shoulder width apart, and you're going to want to flex your knees, go down, and keep that back flat, of course, up. Also, in order to keep that back flat, it really helps to retract your shoulder blades. It just really kind of helps give you that little extra oomph. So, one, go down. And back up. It's also important that when you do the movement that you want to make sure your shins are kind of perpendicular to the floor as possible. So they're just straight up and down. So if you want to do it again, Isa. Down, retract the shoulder blades. So you can see that time her shin leaned forward quite a bit. So what she wants to do is push her hips back. It's also a very important part when you do that squat. You start with a backwards hip push. So you back, you go down. Yep.
And that's great for if there's something right below you, to be able to pick that up and be able to keep everything nice and tight, push those knees out, butt back, and drive with those legs. So basically what Chet's showing you in these different places, if you have to bend over and pick something up, how you can bend over and pick it up with keeping your back safe, or if there's something below you, how you can use that squat pattern in different ways, whether, because we know that those things you have to pick up aren't always in the easiest places, so you got to have different methods for picking things up safely. So there's two of the best ways, and for both of those he's going to explain one thing that you really want to make sure you do that will tighten around your spine.
And again, we do understand that you guys aren't really exercising. This is literally just everything you do. Like when you lift up something, we understand this is very practical, so you want to make sure you keep it that way. But the very last important parts of this puzzle is you want to make sure that you brace your core when you lift. What this does, it'll kind of give you balance, and it kind of protects your spine when you flex muscles around. So when you go to lift, so this, we're going to bring the kettlebell forward. So this time, when you go down, you really want to make sure you kind of brace yourself. So you want to flex your core, flex your back, and pick it up. So like bracing for impact almost, except you're lifting. So let's see it. Go down.
This isn't gonna be something you can really see, but it can be something which is really more of a focus, because you might not be able to see the difference between that lift and the first time she did, but it's more of just be cognizant, be aware that you need to tighten everything up before you lift up that object.
Very true. You wanna go back down again? Good. So there you go, guys. Those are the three major things you want to know when you're doing squats. You want to keep that flat back with the hip hinge. You want to make sure you have that good formation, shoulders width apart, chins as perpendicular to the floor as possible, retract those shoulder blades, and also to brace your core when you go down. Thank you guys for watching.